This is Fred Barstein with 401k TV. I'm here with Kim Pruitt from NFP. Welcome, Kim.
Hi, thank you.
Kim and I just finished conducting a TPSU program for plan sponsors on the campus of SMU. Kim did a great job.
Thank you.
Kim's been an advisor, independent advisor through NFP since 2009, and before that worked for the very large record keeper on that, and she's what we consider to be an elite advisor in terms of the amount of plans and assets, and we know that NFP is one of the leading retirement plan provider advisory groups in the country, top three on that. So today, Kim, you talked about in the program about plan refresh and re-enrollment. What does that really mean?
Well, essentially, one of our most basic duties prudently as a plan sponsor and fiduciary is that following 404A, that we make sure that our employees are adequately educated about their investments and can make an informed decision about how they should be allocated. However, what we're finding is that most committees don't believe that their employees are adequately taking advantage of those resources, or maybe they're not understanding, and therefore they're making maybe not such a prudent decision when it comes to allocating their investments.
Like asking their coworkers, or
that's right. Yeah. That's right. Or chasing returns for a particular fund. Yeah. So therefore, the concept of the plan refresh, it basically takes the participants that are not already investing in the target date funds and reallocating them into the target date fund or the plan's QDIA investment.
The QDIA default. So does that mean that, are you seeing plans that are actually automatically changing the investment for those participants?
They are, and there is an ERISA safe harbor for doing so for the fiduciary, and we do allow for an opt-out, so therefore those employees that are engaged and that are making an active election and choosing their investments can opt not to participate and be swept in.
Do we get a lot of, do you see a lot of participants opting out, or are most of them just staying in that default option?
About 11% statistically are opting out, so a majority of them absolutely are taking advantage of that. What we've also seen by several studies, and one particularly by JP Morgan, is that participants are saying, we want to push the easy button. We want it to be done for us.
Right, and to do it. And so do you do this every year? I mean, how often do you do this plan refresh?
I would say it's kind of dependent on the plan sponsor and their preference, and certainly the data that we have on their participants, because we want to efficiently analyze how those participants are allocated. Right. And if they're doing well, then there's really no need for a plan refresh. Right. So as often as it makes sense.
Right, on it. Well, that's great. And so in terms of the target date, how should plan sponsors be looking at evaluating their target date? What's right for them? Because that's the most, popular default option these days.
Absolutely. Definitely before considering a plan refresh, you want to make sure that you have gone through a prudent process to evaluate and
documented prudent process.
A documented prudent process, and therefore that you do align the characteristics of your plan as well as the demographics and behaviors of your employees with the target date fund for that plan, based on risk tolerance, the glide path, so many different characteristics.
Because you could have employees that are younger and you could maybe take more risk. You could have older employees that are well funded, maybe you don't want to take as much risk, so it's really matching that together with the target date. And that's the most important investment that the plan sponsor should be focused on, right?
Absolutely. And I would say that we also find it's usually the one that's most neglected. Right. We spend so much time analyzing our core fund menu, and many times the decision that's made on those target date funds or that QDIA is no more than which one performed the best, or maybe the provider had offered a proprietary solution that was then offered to the plan.
So if the Department of Labor comes in and asks the plan sponsor, how did you select the target date? You say, well, that's what the record keeper offered and it's proprietary. Probably not a good answer.
Not a good answer. You want to have that documentation of your process.
Right. Nothing wrong with that, as long as you've independently evaluated the record keeper and the target date or their investments as well.
That's correct.
Very good. Well, thanks for your time today, and thanks for supporting TPSU. Just final question, why do you, I know you do a lot of programs for us, why do you do it?
You know, when I first started this, I think what really reeled me in was the feedback that we received from all of the attendees and how this is definitely the only education that they've, first of all, enjoyed, but have been able to actually get real information about our industry.
Right, so that's great. Well, thanks again for your participation and for NFP's support of it. And thank you for watching 401k TV. Stay tuned and look for a TPSU program near you.